this is like fun with other, running friends. So I'm like, I'm going to do it because I knew it would put me in a good mood.
You are my BRF.
What's happening, Eric?
There for your victory lap.
Yeah.
Whoa!
How did that happen?
How did you do that?
And all of a sudden I go to zip it up and I'm like, why is the zipper in the front right now? 0 out of 10 on the recommendations,
I am literally crying from laughter and from so much love. Oh my God.
It's like I see off for your cornhole.
And he just smashed Arnie like that and said, "You stay out of this, Arnie." And I thought,
But I don't run to stay sober. I get to run because I am.
And there she was, a halo over her head.
No, it's not very true. Okay. And he steps to the side and just gestures. Here's the tinkle pot. I don't need to tinkle.
What's up, everybody? And welcome to episode 219 of the On the Runs podcast. And we're coming to you live today from the Cheap Marathon in Windham, New Hampshire. We just got done recording all day with some amazing people who are running this race and finishing, including Wyatt and Kayla, and we had Jamie on, and we had so many cool people. Remember Paul? Paul left his headphones. Paul, shoot me a DM. But my amazing kick-ass rockstar co-host just finished the race. What's up, Six Star Erika?
How's it going, man? I am very tired. I did not hit my goal, but I am so proud of myself.
Yay, as you should be.
And I am so thankful to have Tara here taking my place so I didn't have to skip out on this race.
I'll tell you, podcasting was way easier than running a marathon.
It is. That's
Probably
why
a little more fun, too. You got to talk to some cool people.
That's why I always want to do this podcasting from races and watch the runners. I enjoy the running,
You
too.
guys have the best spot in the house today. It is facing the finish line, so you got to see everybody crossing.
Yeah, finish line is right there behind
Beautiful.
the camera.
I love
One
that.
day we'll have a production with multiple camera angles, but right now we're with you guys. One
Love it.
camera. DJ Darren Roy's doing an amazing job with the tunes and the crowd.
He's doing his announcing. He's doing a great job also.
How was the start of your race, Erika? Let's talk a little bit about your race.
I had such a fun day. I really can't complain about not hitting my goal because this was my second best marathon, but the minute I walk up to the start line and stuff, I get to meet Kayla Zwerko, and Jamie State, and they were doing some announcing, and I got to talk to them for a few minutes. It was so fun to get to meet her in person. So Kayla, you made me feel like a rock star today, like a true rock star. And yeah, like lots of friendly faces today. Like Kat Brown was here, Sheila was here, Wyatt was here. Like I know I'm missing a ton of people, but like the vibes were high this morning. It was great.
What was the wake-up call for you?
5:30, which is not that bad considering. I mean, it took me a little while to get out of the house, but it was like a half an hour drive. I was still here early.
Did you go to bed early last night?
I mean, not really. I think I was in bed by 11.
That's good for you, though.
That's on brand for me.
Yeah.
Here comes Erika Sweat.
Oh, there she is finishing the race right now. So we are at the Millennium Running Cheap Marathon. Erika, why is this the cheap marathon?
Because if you sign up right away, it is only $26.20.
And what do you get for finishing this race?
You get a lousy ribbon, which is so fun.
It is fun. Does it say lousy ribbon on the ribbon?
It literally does,
Well,
yes.
It says...
Here, let me grab it real quick, and I will read it to you guys.
Yeah, it says something along the lines of like, I just ran this race and I got this
All
ribbon.
I got was this lousy ribbon.
Tara is here because she co-hosted with me today all day with these amazing people. You did awesome.
Thanks, Eric. I love doing this. So whenever you guys need me, I am almost 99.9% I'm in.
Well, we're going to need you in a couple weeks because we have some big news to announce in a little bit. But Erika has the ribbon here. Show the camera.
Here we go. Oh, this is the one with the typo. I love it. No, just kidding. I ran a marathon, and all I got was this lousy ribbon. There was one year where it said I ran a 26.2, and so I'm like, but that is one of my prized possessions. So this is going to be hung up in my medal room, I guess you could say, my gym.
Now,
And
if you run the
I own
half, does it say that but half marathon?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I think theirs is yellow, so it is distinguishable. But
Gotcha.
New course
Earned
this
it.
year, but same course. It's just in the opposite direction. You start on the Windham side and you turn around in Derry, where the last couple of years, started in Derry, turn around here. Great setup because of the area we can hang out in.
This is way better.
No
I
more
loved
hill.
this year. Well, you say no more hill. This one little hill right here to the finish felt like a mountain.
That's what a lot of people said.
It was a little bit of a doozy,
It was
but
fun watching some people come across the finish line and just be like dead.
Oh, that was me.
That
Yeah.
was you. That
I
was a few
felt
others.
it.
That was. Remember, we had Sam. His friend wouldn't come on because he was like, "I'm dead. I'm dead right now. I'm dead." This is
You're not alone, Sam.
some cool things about this. So this is a USATF certified course, but they had to get it recertified.
Yep.
They just did it a couple days ago. This course is ranked 6th nationally of the best courses in America to get a BQ and a PR.
And I can see why. This is a very fast course.
Yeah.
So if you like flat courses like I do, this is for you.
So for all you listening right now, because it's Boston Weeks, and you obviously know when you saw the episode teaser who our guest is today, this is a great course to come get your BQ, first class event with the Millennium. Come here to get your BQ if you're really shooting for that. And that leads me into our guest today. Our next guest for Boston Weeks, we got him. We got him, Erika. We got, as I like to say, the white whale.
The ghost.
He is so amazing. You guys, this week we have Meb Keflezighi, and if you don't know who he is, you're living under a rock. I don't know what to say, but just know that I am not cool again. Like, I have no chill, and I'm okay with that because Meb was absolutely amazing to talk with, and
The man understood the assignment too.
oh, he
this was
delivered
incredible.
all the stories.
This is legit like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. We'll talk about that stuff after. And just PodFam, we got a new one. Meb Keflezighi. I can't say it. and I'm gonna let Erika do the intros, but PodFam, we got a new one. Erika, send us away.
We got Meb Keflezighi on the On the Runs podcast, and we'll see you on the other side.
Our next guest on the pod stitched his name into running history throughout his career while carrying the American flag after winning the silver medal in the Olympics, the New York City Marathon, and the Boston Marathon. More importantly, outside of running, he's a girl dad. He founded the Meb Foundation, and he's loved by so many in the Boston running community after his performance that brought the city and its runners together stronger than ever. Needless to say, we are wicked excited to welcome Meb to our pod fam. Meb Keflezighi, welcome to the On the Runs podcast. What's up, buddy?
I'm doing really well, Eric and Erika, and thanks for having me on the podcast. I appreciate it.
Oh, the pleasure is ours, Meb. This is super cool for us because you are absolutely a legend in the Boston community and the running community at large. And I just have to say, I have a couple of stories that involve you. I don't even know how to go into this because I'm kind of fangirling a little bit here. But in 2018, after you had concluded your professional running career, you did the Burlington Marathon or the Vermont City Marathon. You were like the
Like a keynote speaker or something,
Keynote
right?
speaker,
like
and then we had
like
the foundation had a relay. So we had I
Yeah.
think it was 5 people how to choose to be on the team and why. So it was fun.
Yeah.
It was a really
So
good time.
you were out there in Burlington, and I remember I was getting ready to run the race, and I saw you having some ice cream at Ben and Jerry's, and I was too nervous to go say hi to you. But I'm like, Meb is just a regular guy. He's out there doing the things that we like to do, and you're just always so gracious with your time. Even just last year at the Boston Run Show, my friends and I saw you walking in the hallway going into the venue, and you stopped and took a picture with us. So we're just super excited to get to actually talk to you this time and just get to enjoy you on the podcast. So thank you for being here.
Well, appreciate it for the memory lane, Erica. And to be in Vermont and to have the original Ben and Jerry store. And that was a good sign of retirement. And then, as
You earned it,
retirement is right, just to be there was amazing. I love ice cream. I have a sweet tooth. And then also, to see you in Boston. And, one of the best thing about runners is to meet and greet people and you hear stories when they started, how they started, or what their next goal is. So thanks for the memory lane. I appreciate you.
What's your
Stands
favorite,
out.
what's your go-to ice cream flavor when you get Ben and Jerry's?
What I have now is I like my sister Ruth kind of introduced me to coffee lovers. So I love having coffee, ice cream. It used to be like vanilla or chocolate, but the coffee, flavor is my go-to now.
You can't go wrong with ice cream in general. Nice choice.
Especially
Absolutely.
Ben and Jerry's.
It's always the right time.
It is the right time. My boys say that all the time. In the morning, ice cream, all the time. But hey, man, as Erika said, we're excited. I was jealous. I was in Mexico at my sister's wedding when she met you at the run show, and I was getting pictures, and I was like, oh, I'm here in Mexico enjoying my sister's wedding, but I could be in Boston to meet Meb. There'll be another time. But Meb, we love stories. And I love first marathon stories. You've had this amazing career that led up to your first marathon. You were running a lot of 5Ks, 10Ks, NCAA track. But I want to stick to marathons here, and I want to hear your first marathon story ever. Spare no details. And I think at the end of the marathon, you're like, ugh, I don't know if I'll ever do this again.
Absolutely. No, but first you may need to know about my running story when I was in 7th grade to get a t-shirt and an A in the class. That's how my running got discovered. And then eventually by running 5 minutes and 20 seconds for the mile, it opened a lot of eyes, and including my PE teacher. And he goes, "You're going to go to the Olympic," but being an immigrant, not knowing to speak the language or not knowing what the word Olympic meant, I'm like, A, t-shirt, and the rest is story. But in high school, people always said when I was running cross country, they go, "You're gonna be a beautiful marathoner." I'm like, because I didn't have a kick, but I can maintain same pace for a longer period. And I asked her, "How far is that?" They're like 26.2 miles. Mike Anderson, Jason's dad, my teammates, tell me that. I'm like, that's too far away. That's too much. I'm not gonna, I don't think I am that kind of 2 miles is too long, 5K is too long, or whatever. So I wasn't even thinking. But so in 2000. I made the Olympic team, and in 2001, I had the great fortune to break the American record in the 10K. So 2002 was an off year, not World Championship year or Olympic year. So I'm like, well, let me see what this marathon is all about. So I decided to, unfortunately was in 2001 was the 9/11, which is a horrific time. And I did consider that because the nationals were U.S. Nationals Marathon Championship was in New York, but I did not know. I didn't have enough time to train for it, and I passed. And then in 2002, I decided to go for the marathon in New York. And Dina Casser, who's a good friend of mine in Mammoth Lakes, we were training. I would do tempos. We do 12-mile tempo, 15-mile tempo. I'm like, I'm excited for this, but how am I supposed to go all out for another 10 more miles when 15 was so hard?
That is the question, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So she's like, "Don't worry, with the tapering and the long runs, it all comes together." So I stepped into the TCS New York City Marathon, which at the time was NING, but the race was stacked as always is, and bring the best of the best in the world. And I'm like, well, coach told me, be patient, 16th Avenue, Mark Carroll, another graduate from Providence from college days and who coaches at the BA performance now. He goes, "Let's take it easy, take it easy." But I was feeling great. I'm like, this is fun. I think I can win this thing. And boy, it was 38 degree. And it's funny how you remember all those details.
Yeah.
Shady and cold and whatnot. And then at that point, I'm like, get it down to 4 people. Got down to 4 people. Worst scenario, I got 4th place, which would be amazing. And best scenario, I still got a chance to possibly win. And then from 16 to 17 and a half or 18, I was leading, part of the mix. And then 19, I was done. So instead of tucking in my gloves and my arm warmers, and I threw it away, rookie mistake. And then as we get close to that 10K, 24 mile, Mark Carroll came by and says, "Come on, Meb, let's go." But my mind says go, but my body says no way. And I said, "Go, you go. There's no way. There's nothing I could do. You go ahead." And then actually he put 2 minutes on me in the last 2 miles. So I had to work hard. Tony Reves, who has a great writer and news person, said, it reminds me, that was a 37 last 10K. So, I had the wall. My mind says go, my body says no. So I learned a lot, what to do, what not to do on my first marathon. And I finished the race, which is amazing, 9th place. I ran 2:12:35, which is amazing.
Not a big deal.
But disappointed at the same time because the Olympic A standard, you have to run sub 2:12. So I missed it by 35, 36 seconds.
So
I'm like,
close.
Why would I want to run another marathon to shave off 35 seconds? So I'm like, it makes no sense. This is my first and last marathon. And even my parents were there to watch me run. And my mom was like, well, 5K, 10K, okay, no more marathons for you. And then my dad tried to massage me to keep me warm. So yeah, and I told my coach that this is my first and last marathon. I never want to do it again, but I guess thank God for short memory.
So what were some of the big takeaways that you had from New York City when you finally decided you're like, okay, I think maybe I can do this again? What did you learn that you carried on to your next marathon?
Talking to coach and talking to Tony Reves at the time that day, it's like, you put it up there. You went for the win, and yes, I got deducted for not making sub 212 for one
Mhm.
contract. So I got 50% of what I was supposed to get in appearance. But at the same time, it showed me resilience. And if I train right and be patient and don't make moves at 16 miles, make a move at 21 or 22 miles, things can click. And it was always my dream after that. When I collect myself or when visited Eritrea, where I was born, and saw how people live in day in, day out, just sunrise and moon, nothing else. That's a sunshine, the sun. It didn't have electricity, no running water. It put it in perspective for me. I like, you know what? It was not such a bad experience or pain that discomfort. In fact, my teammate Dan Nago from UCLA told me, "No, we're not in pain. You were just temporary discomfort for 40 minutes or
Mhm.
30 seconds." That put in perspective. I decided, hey, in fact, I wanted to do Boston as my next marathon. I'm like, Coach, I came back. I'm so motivated. Let's just try to do Boston and try to win
Mhm.
it or try to do really well. But he goes, well, Boston and New York have very similar courses. And if you're trying to break 212, we need to put you on a flat course. And that happened to be Chicago Marathon in 2003.
Erica's favorite. We
I
talked
know.
about it
I
a
was
few
listening to
times.
Allison, the coach. Allison, the coach. I was listening part of that. You guys went back and forth of
Yeah.
Yep.
your which one is your favorite. And New York is my first and my favorite.
We were gonna ask you about that because it's New York City is Eric's first major that he's run, and he does not think anything can top it. And even though I've run them all, like they all have their redeeming qualities, but Chicago that was my first, and that's why it has a special place in my heart. So we were wondering what you were gonna say. So I am happy for Eric that New York City gets another vote.
Meb, it's very hard for me being a Boston guy, huge Boston Bruins fan, by the way, and I know you're UCLA Bruin, but it's
Yeah.
very hard for me to say that New York was, I don't know how something else could top it. I ran it this last year, 2025, and I think Boston's incredible because it's our hometown in a way, it's our home race, and it's the oldest marathon of all time, and that's what this is about, Boston Weeks, and your story we'll get to soon. But yeah, it's very hard for me to go, I ran New York, and then after I'm like, I don't know how something else can beat this. And I want to know, you ran New York like 25 years ago, and you're there every year. You work for the NYRR, you at the Set the Pace podcast. What's changed in those 25 years from your first New York experience to today?
Well, I think the organization has changed a lot, and then also the marathon itself. From like 40,000 to almost 60,000
That's
is
a
just
lot.
change. But the same course, the five bros, I think I love Boston. Don't get me wrong, but New York I've done it 12 times. That says a lot. And
It does.
in fact, I was talking to Eliud Kipchoge this last year when he would do New York, and I tell him I did this 12 times. Like, 1, 2, like that many times? I'm like, yeah, why? He's like, wow, and he was mesmerized with it because I love New York. I didn't see myself live there, but to visit, to experience it, it's incredible. I think that the crowd always, as you were talking in the last podcast with Allison, mile 8, the energy there, 10 deep, 15 deep is incredible. So that's an experience of a lifetime that, yes, we get that also when we go to Wesley College or Boylston and other Boston College and things like that. But, throughout the five pros, he experienced that. So the crowd for me has been, yes, the crowd always grows more and more. And especially if it's a nice day, people watch from their condo or apartment and things like that. They have flags out and people scream your name. And I love hearing the crowd personally. So whether I pump my chest or give them thumbs up or blow kisses to them, it's fun, even though I'm focused for the next mile. But it
Absolutely.
brings, the energy is electrifying.
Let's
agree.
go back to after your first New York City Marathon, you went back to your birthplace. And that's when you had the story you shared with us about realizing all those differences and you came back motivated. What was that time frame after New York to when you went back to your birthplace and coming home and talking to your coach about, let's do it again?
Yeah. I mean, when I went back to Eritrea, I was there. I believe I went with my mom for the first time since I left as a 10-year-old. So 2000, I was 27 years old. So 17 years less, a lot of time. Some people that he knew are there, some people that he knew there, uncles and aunts and cousins, and they're not there, then in the military or they're passed away. So it kind of gives you a lot of your roots reflect. and how fortunate that I am to do what I do. I never thought running was a sport when I was there. How my life would have been. I would have been a farmer and go without electricity, no running water. I mean, life would have been completely different. So that kind
Right.
of gave me the perspective that, hey, wow, the opportunities that you have to graduate from UCLA and now help the family as much as you can. In fact, we helped bring at that time when I went, we help some money to bring electricity to my dad's village, Adugombolo. So you have those kind of things. How can I do more? The God-given talent that I have, how can I maximize it? And even though when I don't have sponsorship eventually and things like that, that when I would dry, I would always look back to that God-given talent. Has that been maxed out? Going 7 months without shoe contracts, not easy as a family's grown, but you look back and reflect, say, why do I want to keep doing this? Because, we all have different talents and different gifts. And yeah, so that was a light went on in Eritrea in 2002. And when I came back, I was, hey, coach. And he's like, what got into you? Is what he said. It's like, well, I saw how my roots was and how my uncles and cousins are living. I mean, as an American, I have a flashlight going through the like 10 p.m., but they only had the moon, and I'm the one tripping on most. They were just comfortable doing whatever they used to it. And, so the labor they have to put in and all that is what a marathon is. And I said, I got no room to complain. Just get to it. But I'm glad Coach kind of convinced me. To this day, I'm glad he convinced the Chicago, but then I'm like, man, could I have won Boston with that motivation? Still think that in the back of my head because, I wanted that bad, and, I even bought a house before I ran the Boston Marathon because how people measure you if you're a distance runner or if you're a marathon. Have you done the Boston Marathon? So I'm like, well, this house would be good because it got some hills because all the stories that I've heard about Boston Marathon.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of journey.
Well, I'm really glad that the going to Eritrea sparked your fire and your love for running even more, and it got you to the place where you could finally run Boston. So I believe your first Boston was 2006. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how that went?
I was fit. 2006 was amazing. I think that's to this
post
day.
Olympics, and yep, you had a really good
So,
Olympic year.
going to that race, second at the Olympics, second in New York, third in New York. You're like, man, I think I got a chance. I could possibly win Boston. And I was grateful for John Henga for bringing me in for that, to give me a crack. And then Robert Chariot, who was a defending, he has won Boston before, was in there. And he, there was another guy, Lamo was in it. He took off like bat out of hell. So I'm like, if I'm going to go, I'm going to go. But I did rehearse the course previously. I went and visited in January, but and then when it came to
that's
April,
a good time to visit Boston.
yeah, it was cold, but it was the indoor meets and other stuff going on, so it was the right time. And then ran the course in segments, so you kind of get that experience.
Yes.
And Benjamin Lime was the guy I was thinking. He took off, and John Yuda from Tanzania, which I didn't know later on, it was told me that he was a pacer. So I'm like, Boston didn't have pacers. It's a pure championship, but he went with them. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to win, I'm going to need to go. And I went out, I believe I was 102.45 for that, which at the time was almost equivalent to world record. And the hills are still waiting. And then at mile 17, I hit the wall. Robert Chariot came and took the lead. And then I held on for dear life. But having the USA jersey is such a awesome moment because people were chanting USA, come on, maybe you can do it. Going through it, and I finished third. And then we had 4 people, I think, with the Alan Culpepper and others in the top 10. So it was a good showing, but I didn't get my goal, which was to win. And but I felt like, hey, if I could get other chances, I could still win it because I went out hard, world record pace, and died. And then if I could just get it right, I have a chance to win the Boston Marathon. So that was the fittest I ever was for that race, more so than 2014, 2010, because I have injuries and other things. But, it's not how fit you are, but you got to use that 9-inch above the shoulder.
Exactly. And the Boston course is so tricky because the first 10 miles are mostly downhill. So they just carry you. And if you're not playing smart, you're going to burn yourself out early in the race. And then, like you said, mile like 18, 19, 20, there are those Newton Hills. And if you can't keep up, people are going to just drop you. But third place, I think that's an amazing start to your Boston career. And we know it gets better from there.
But it did have hiccups though, because
Mhm.
if that was the fittest you have ever been, 2006 for a marathon or for the Boston Marathon, you broke your hip right a couple years later before you ever won New York City or Boston.
Mhm.
So like you had to deal with, like, some people might think I'm done, I'm past my prime, and you kept going. You learned lessons along the way in every marathon, and you probably learned some lessons throughout that broken hip and your recovery and back to the toe of the line.
So yeah, Eric, I think I even consider retirement. You're absolutely right. So third in Boston, and then food poisoning in New York that fall. Everything
Classic
started
Code
going down.
Browns.
Everything started going down.
Yeah.
And 2007. Now been second to Olympics, third in Boston, second New York, third in New York. You're like, man, I want that win, and what a
Mhm.
better way to do it at the U.S. Championship or the Olympic trials in November of 2007, where New York is where I started my marathon. I have a lot of following there. I'm like, I want to do this, and I did Falmouth Road Race, which is not too far away from where you guys are,
Yep,
and I
yep.
was second place there, fittest summer I ever been. Broke 28 minutes at the John Bonoit's race, Beach to Beacon, for 10K before Super Shoes. It
Amazing.
was amazing. So I was ready, and I was the favorite to win, but unfortunately, things don't always go as you plan or
Mhm.
you think you deserve, and going to the trials. Again, I was 5-1 odd to win, and I remember Ryan Hall even told me when I was training Mammoth, like, I just want to be on that plane with you to Beijing. So
Right.
the workout that he was seeing with me was pretty good, and then obviously the race. As it unfolded, I was I was really sitting next to Ryan Shea going to the starting line, and we talked about how cool it is to own New York City with the police escorting us. It was great, and it's like my first experience was in Brussels, 10K. The police escort you, and then he's like, my first experience was in Mumbai, Kenya, when the workers' country, the American bus was not supposed to stop, and then we reflect and this, and then we got back to our zone, listen to music, and and then the race unfolded, and about 9 miles or 10 miles into it, a Quarterium course in Central Park, the ambulance got on the way, and then I got pissed. I'm like, "Hey Ryan, let's just pick up the pace." To Ryan Hall, that is, and
Mhm.
he goes, "Well, let's see what the next mile is. I think we're running fast enough." And then if we ran 4:48, it's like, yeah, it's fast enough and whatnot. And then it's like, just should close the road or whatever. And we kind of talking this during the race. And then about 2 miles later or so, my calf is tightening up. I'm like, use Ryan Hall to get you away from the group. And then Dathan came past me. And then Khalid Konuchi passed me. Brian Sell passed me. And I was just having a tough day. I'm like, maybe they can do the 10K. I could be an alternate, get whatever excuse you can make, talk
Yeah,
yourself
yeah.
into, get to that finish line. And then with about half mile to go, this guy, Nate, I believe, can't think his last name right now, but he's huffing and puffing. I'm like, God, please let me beat this guy. And I didn't. He beat me. I ended up getting 8th place. And then as soon as I finished, a friend of mine told me, he's like, hey, do you know what happened to Ryan? And then I'm thinking, oh, Ryan Hall, it was a misty day. Did he fall or anything like that? And he goes, no, Ryan Shea. And I'm like, no, what happened? He's like, he's dead. And I'm like,
Yeah.
tears, collapse, devastated, physically, mentally, emotionally. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't believe this. And then I tell Howie to go look for his spouse, Alicia Shea, and kind of see what we can do to help and whatnot. And then she was already checked out, and Ryan Shea was my training partner in San Diego, in Mammoth, and my defender on the on lines and all that stuff. So it was still get choked up about that because it was
day.
tough. It was really tough, and
You were really close to all your American teammates, Ryan Shea and Ryan Hall. I've read and seen stories about you and Ryan Hall in many races. Like, you guys work really well together. You're not, even though you're racing against each other and your competitors, you're teammates at the same time.
yeah, absolutely, we're teammates. We care for each other, and we reflect, and we tell our secrets, whatever that might be. It's like, may the best man win mile 25. But other than that, we're gonna share. Ryan Hoss has shared some ideas with me. I share with him, and it's that, or Culpepper or Abdi or Dan Brown, and it's fun to be able to do those things. But on race day, it's not only who can be fittest, but who can make the right moves, be patient. There's so many factors, weather, and so many things that can happen. So yeah, we're tight bunch, and care for each other. And we have meals together and visit each other's houses when we're in Mammoth and things like that. It was pretty cool. But that 2008, 7 November was such a devastating moment. But my wife Fiordance and I even prayed. If there's silver medal at the end of my career, I'm completely happy with it. If the American records at the end of it, I was completely satisfied. And but I knew internally there was more in the tank. It just did not go the way like my first marathon. It didn't go the way I planned it, but I know I was fit enough. And when we prayed about it, and I remember my coach Bob Lawson said, "It has been a pleasure working with you." I'm like, "What does that mean? Is it over?"
Are you
And we have
dropping
all
me?
this.
Like, what's going on?
Yeah, and but I know internally there was more in the tank, but I didn't know what the diagnosis was. All I thought was more the central part, how tough it was. And Ryan Hall ran out of his mind, ran 209.03 or something. And this the course was challenging. That's why my head is hurting. I tried to do foam rolling, trying to do the softball, have people work on me. And then it was January 15th or so when I diagnosed it as a pelvic stretch fracture. So I went for a long time. I mean, literally while I run, I was like cricket, and I
and
could
that
not
just
get up
throws
from the
everything
stool.
off, right? Like it messes
Yeah.
up all of your
It
gait
was
and
bad.
just
It was bad.
throws you
I mean,
off.
it's the longest time I took off. So I'm like, oh, it must be that. It must be the course. You do whatever, like I said, top tier stuff into. And then it was so hard to jump from the street to the sidewalk because that 6-inch whatever, I didn't have the power to do it. But
Yeah.
and I remember December that year, I remember telling my brothers in San Jose that, hey, this is the end of it. I think I'm going to retire. So, I mean, I'm going to need the support more than ever. So those ideas that you mentioned, Eric, did become a reality. Thoughts that crossed my mind to retire and kind of be done with it. And, that was it. But I know once I got diagnosis and been a Nike athlete, I have to rush it to get back to the 10K and try to make the team and not get reduced and things like that. So it is what it is. But at the same time, a lot more great things happen since then.
Yeah, and let's get to those. So we'll talk about New York another time. This is Boston weeks, and we want to kind of fast forward a little bit. You ran Boston, I think Erika said eventually. You wanted to run Boston, but your coach was like, "No, we're going to do Chicago because it's flat." You eventually get to run Boston. What was your first introduction to the Boston Marathon, and when it became a race, like a bucket list race for you?
So in 2006, I think, like I said earlier, I think your distance runners measured if you have done the Boston Marathon. I was a college student when I was sitting in the plane. I'm a distance runner for UCS. Like, well, have you done the Boston Marathon? I'm like,
so iconic. It's the first one that
I'm like,
pops
I'm a
into everybody's
guy. I
head.
didn't even know what a marathon is, but they're like, well, you got to do that and things like that. So yeah, I mean, race week or race Boston is the most prestigious marathon there is, and the history Bostonian know their sport. So when first time I went there, it's like, wow, everybody knows a lot about the Boston and what it is on Patriots Day on Monday, and they're aware, they're aware about the Red Sox, Patriots, or the Bruins and Celtics, but they also know about the marathon. So you feel very important. You feel you belong there, and you have your own day. So the festivity is pretty sparking.
You weren't running in 2013, but you were there. What were you doing in Boston that weekend? Were you just doing sponsor appearances, going to cheer on friends, going to just take in the experience?
So yeah, that was my third time back there. 2010, after I won New York 2009, I went 2010, tried to be the first American in a long time to win back to back. Obviously, I finished fifth, I believe, in that race. And then 2013, though, yes, I was there as a for sponsor for Power Bar at the time, and I remember meet and greet at the expo, and this lady told me it took her 22 years to qualify. And you're like, wow, that's how meaningful it is for Boston and things like that. I said, to this day, I don't know if she finished or didn't finish, but she was on the older side. Imagine if you are, well, she started running, when she was 40, she's 62 or whatever it might be. So I'm not just,
She had the determination. I'm willing to bet she finished no matter what.
Yeah, but because of the reason I said didn't is because of the bombing. So
that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So I was there.
Hopefully she had another chance in 2014.
I think I was there in 2012 one other time for sponsorship as well. And then my good friend, David Kahn, was running for the Meb Foundation. And he said, well, if you're here next year in 2012, that is, I want you to meet me at the Citgo sign and run the last mile with me. I'm like, if I'm here, I'll do it. And he was running for the Meb Foundation. So I went there and met him and ran, walk. Remember if that's the hot year that was. And even the defending champion just for Geoffrey Mutai dropped out, and I tell him, hey, take care healthy, because he's saying I'm doing more walking than running. But I'm like, don't worry, even the defending champion, Geoffrey Mutai, dropped out. And he goes, so you're telling me I can beat him? And he finished the race. So that's kind of the competitive edge. And eventually it came in handy for me to know the course, every inch of it, by doing walk and running with David Kahn. And then in 2013, yes, I was there for sponsorship and appearances. And then I ran that morning for about 6-7 miles or so. And then I let the guy, even I had to do live TV interview with the police. I said, hey, let me ride by the Fairmont Copy. Let me go across this street. I got to take a shower and come back here in like 12 minutes. And he let me go through. And then the race unfolded. And I remember sending a text. Howie got me a pass to the grandstand because I was watching at the lobby, and then people asking questions. I just want to be with the runners. I just want to see the runners. And then he got me a pass to the grandstand. I was there for 4+ hours. And then when the man came by, Lily said to Cisa, I remember sending a text to Ryan Hall, says, I looked at time. I said, we can do this. We believe we can do this. And then he says, we'll get after it. And it was Sarah's birthday, so they were not there. They were traveling back. And then I start taking notes how the spirit of the marathon, uplifting, camaraderie it was. And then I got called. My good friend Rob Hill gave me his jacket. I was trying to stay as long as possible, but then I had an appointment at 4 p.m., I believe. So like 2:50 or whatever it was, I left, and I didn't even make it to the Fairmont Copley, as you know where that is. As soon as I got to the lobby, a friend of mine that was there told me that, hey, from John Hancock, that there's a bombing on Boylston. I'm like,
oh my
F
gosh.
that. How can it be possible? There's no way. How I left Howie there. There's so many runners. I could not comprehend it, but I cried and said that was it. And then that evening, I remember Bonnie Ford from ESPN asked me, what's your mental status right now? Are you going to come back? Are you going to be a family? What do you think? And I remember telling her April 15, 2013, I hope to be healthy enough to win it for the people. So I said that I'll go for myself, and the rest, it became a true eventually. But, to say that and then to overcome all the situation, how tight security was. I remember going to the airport the next day, the 16th. The people were searching me and kind of got a little suspicious of me. And where are you going? I'm going to Mammoth. They're like, where's that? I'm like, California. And they had the dog sniff and whatever. I call Howie, my brother and manager. I'm like, it's kind of scary here. One night, she said, just be yourself. Just be yourself. Got nothing to worry about. And then once I went to security, and then all the runners are there. Oh, Meb is here, whatever, taking pictures. So, been person like, did you do this kind of thing, or suspicious to like our hero? It was kind of like matters of minutes. So it was tough, but 2013 was horrific. But somehow, some way, we have to move forward.
So you called it out kind of that evening on ESPN. You're like, if I can be here next year and healthy enough to run, I want to win for the people. Because you said New York and the Olympics was kind of for you, but you didn't want to do this for you. You wanted to do this for the city of Boston and the people of Boston.
I remember, I'm pretty sure Bonnie Ford can testify from ESPN.com. I remember telling him that I want to win it for the people. Somehow something tells you, and he spit it out. I mean, it's not like, it was on my bucket list for a long time to win the Boston Marathon, how prestigious it was. But when I tell that to her, that's what it was. Yeah.
So Meb, what was that whole year leading up like then? You said you want to win it. Now you're focused. You got 365 days to focus, to train, to like talk to your coach and talk to your teammates about, this is my goal. You had a whole year to focus on this. What was that next year like?
I need 365 days to tell you all those stories.
Also, I'm gonna take this opportunity to plug your book, Meb. I'm gonna encourage everyone to read 26 marathons about your entire professional career, because you give so many excellent insights and stories into all this. And I wish we could cover them today, but at least if they read your book, they can get all the extra insights into everything else. But yes, let's talk about going into the 2014 Boston Marathon.
Yeah, leading up to the race, I mean, ever since that April 15, you want to do something better. And the mantra Boston Strong was alive nationwide.
Oh, yeah.
I think people, even the Be Strong hat. And then I remember just saying, you pray, you really do pray. I mean, I'm a Christian, I'm in a faith, and
Mhm.
I'd be training in Mammoth Lakes because I see more deers than I did see cars. And I would do, whenever I see something, I would say, God, give me the time to be able to do that, to win it for the people. And sometimes I want to say I want it for the runners, for the international and things like that. So you have internal dialogue constantly. But the hardest part is to stay healthy. How do you stay healthy? Because I miss 2013 due to injury, but now it's like, okay, do you want to go back to that? Or I have other offers on the table. Did I go to Boston or did I go somewhere else? But for me I remember telling Jordanis, in fact, I said, if I don't go to Boston, I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life. I got to be there for the runners, even though others marathon want me to be at their corner, and I had to pass on that. So visualization is important. I visualize myself, and I did have a dream that it came down to Boylston to with another guy, another person. I couldn't. It didn't disclose who it was, but I knew it was going to be like sprinting on Boylston because so horrific happened. I think my mind that was in there, and when the Red Sox won it, I was getting a massage. When they put the trophy at the finish line, I remember I was getting Gary Ockman. I was getting massage, and I remember I telling him, I want to do that for the runners. I'm on the table. We have TV on. I'm like, we watch TV or basketball or Sports Center when I get my massage. And I said, I want to do that for runners on Patriots Day. So you have those constant dialogue with close ones.
Yep.
But the race got had to unfold the way it will. And I remember even Ryan Hall was like, yes, the energy is going to be so crazy. It's going to be like Tour de France. People are going to come out. How do you retain that emotion and things like that? So, and it did happen. And I remember I was an hour, no details left, whatever you guys do. I remember like about a month ago now, from my last long run, Sunday, I was stuck in the snow. I was staying with a friend, and I really thought I was going to die that day. It was icy. My car had a 4-wheel drive. It was on this side was the cliff, on this side was his house. And then I'm like, it started sliding. It took me like 30 minutes to move like 4 feet.
Oh,
It's like,
no.
I do it, I not do it. I punch it, I not punch it. I mean, it was something, the scary moment. The driveway is steep. And if you do a slide and it's going to go, it's like, oh my goodness, what I do? I was an hour or something late for my last long run. And my beautiful daughter Fiora was there, wanted to go see me run as, I don't know what it was, 8-year-old or something, and so to have that, she was not in the car at the time. My friend was really walking her slowly to the deep driveway, holding her hand, Suresh. But those are the things, the preparation that happened behind the scenes. Really, I was freaked out that day, like a long run, and I don't know what's gonna make this thing
Oh, boy.
to that. So it was scary moments. But coming to the race, it wasn't the fittest I ever been, but I was probably one of the wisest at the time. I mean, I think to be 2 weeks shy of your 39th birthday and to be the 15th fastest guy in the field, I guess the number 1, number 2 runners in the world, and most people have written me off because my 2013 New York City Marathon was a disaster, but it's because I was not fit. I was coming injury. So, and if I can go to the race now, I think, I'm a Christian, so I wanted to have a picture of the 4 victims, Sean, Martin, Lindsay, and Crystal. But then I'm like, how do I take it out and during the race? What am I going to do? But I'm like, you know what? Write it with a Sharpie. Like if it's like Meb, just write Sean, Martin, Crystal, and Lindsay. But then I'm like, oh, the sponsor's going to get pissed. Like, why not? I can't do that. So I just wrote them with a Sharp on top of each corner. And then Mary Kay from John Hancock at the time, it went viral. And it's crazy because, before I go to the race, I remember meeting Martin Richards' family, and I gave him a hug when my wife was there, Donos, and we gave him a hug, and says prayers and hugs. If there's anything I could do, please reach out to me. And then Dave McGillivray was walking with me to the from the charity team celebration that Saturday night, I believe, to Fairmont Copley, and so what's your goal on Monday? I'm like, to win. And I'm simple as that. I'm gonna go for it. And then as the race unfolded, like I said, with the victim's name, and then my coach Bob Larson was there. He says, you can run 206, 207 on this course. I say, yes, coach, I believe that. If you tell me that in 2006, I would have believed you. But now I'm like 8 years later, I don't know if this is going to happen or not, but don't worry. I tell him, don't worry. You're not going to see me in the lead into the last 5K. I'm going to make my move in the last 5K. But as Ryan and Hall and I discussed, that it's going to be the emotion took of it. And once the starting line going, I mean, I was in the zone. I said, why not me? Why not me? He's going to, and once the race goes 5 miles into the race, I bump into Lisa DeCisa, and then they were trying to, the Kenyans, Ethiopians, to slow it down. I said, my goal is to win top 3 or run a personal best. If I'm going to do that, go for it, risk it. And then they let me have a gap. And then Joseph Boyd went with me. And at 8 miles, I told him, like, what are they doing? How come they're not following us? He's like, whatever, and then just kept going and going. And I said, mentally, I'm saying, you're making the biggest mistake of your life. I mean, I am New York champion. I am a silver medalist. I think I have the credentials, a lot of self-talk. And then I don't remember going to the halfway point. As you guys know, the rowdy, the crowd, and Wesley College. I don't remember the halfway point. I asked Joseph Boyd, I said, do you remember what our split was? He says, no. And I looked at my watch, it was 13.9. So you know what? Boston isn't about the time. Because when you're on the lead, you want to say, kind of maintain the space. I'm at the halfway mark, kind of engage a little bit, said where your fuel is, and why give you an idea where you are. And I didn't remember. So at that point, I'm like, you know what? Boston's about title anyway, so don't worry about the time, just compete. And then just for Boyd bumped into me, I'm out 14 and a half or so. And then I said, mental note, he's getting fatigued. So I know the courses where the hill is coming. I'd rather be by myself than having him next to me and trying to get me out of my comfort zone. So I made a move, that 520 mile that I told you. I'm out 16. I believe that came up 432 or 437. And I knew then that I have the crowd behind me, and people, as soon as I made the fire station turn, people were doing the waves, chanting USA, USA, Meb, Meb. And I'm like, USA. I'm like, concentrate on the race. You could do that later. And it was so hard because they were doing the waves as you go by. It's on USA, USA. It was incredible. I'm trying to put in words, but it was nothing like
You're giving me goosebumps, Meb. Like I remember this. Like I watched it on TV, and it's all coming back, and I'm getting the feels again. Like it's hitting me. So keep going.
I will mention one thing. You mentioned Dave McGilvery. We had him on a while ago, and he told us that story about Saturday night. He talked to you, and you kind of told him your plan, and someone said to him on a news TV camera, like the race morning, who do you think's going to win? And he said, Meb's going to win. I just know it. I know it. I talked to him. I feel it. He said, Meb's going to win. He called it before you towed the line. And
I must give props to Dave McGilvery, who was on the moped next to me or just ahead of me, but also Greg Myers, the last American to win. He always told us, hey, go get it. Get it done. I don't want to be the last American to be known to win it. So he really had wanted us to do that. And then that morning he did say, Meb, you're the smartest guy out there. Go get it done. I remember that's the one thing that he told me. And anyways, I'll end up with him when he meet me at the finish line. But yeah, I mean, going to the race, not as you guys know, or the listeners, Boston is point-to-point course. You don't have a lot of things to say how things are going. You don't have a chance to engage how far you are, but you just look at the watch and kept moving. And then it was really wise to have a smart watch to be able to just say, hey, I'm running 5:05, 4:57, whatever, maintaining that pace. So you're not like going out of your capabilities. So that was comforting to know. But you don't know how many of those guys are coming to chase you. They have no idea that is happening. So you just keep pushing and pushing. And I had a vision. It was going to come to Boylston. And then something told me my 5K to go, look to the right. And I looked to the right. I just saw an orange shirt. I have no idea who it was, what the credential is. And I'm like, I led it for 23 miles. Now I'm about to get caught. So like, what I do, like my mind is like 3 things came to option as like save it for Boylston Street, or trying to maintain the gap, or try to extend the gap. Those are the 3 things. So, and then you got to be quick on your feet, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, it's very strategic. Not that I know. I'm not fast like that, but I
Yeah,
can just
but I
imagine
mean,
what's
you got to
going
be
through your
quick.
head.
And then I just says, you know what? If he catch up to me, as you guys are runners, know that you have they have the mental edge over you. They caught up to you. They worked hard. So that's a scratch that plan to try and save it for both, and just now trying to maintain the gap or trying to extend the gap as much as you can. So I was moving and moving, mechanic. I do all those. Coach Larson would say, I never seen anybody as dedicated as you to do all those small things. And I said, just discipline, chin up, move the arms, the hand, opposite leg, opposite hand. But only very few people don't leave any detail here is people don't know is I was struggling when I hit about 14 or 13 miles with my foot issue that I had the breathe right thing is reacting again. So I'm getting really my left foot, if you take closely, I'm favoring it. So I'm in torture. At one point, I'm like, I should just drop out. But I'm in the lead. It's when the crowd is cheering you on, you can't do that. But I was that much more in pain. So as that happens, I'm being very uncomfortable about mechanics. Just try to land it, not on it, but try to land around it. So as the race unfolds, it gets closer and closer. And at mile 24 now, I feel like, if he was feeling good, he would be next to me, but he must be hurting. So I'm pushing my body to the limit. No details left. I held in my vomit like this. I was going to throw up, but I can't go to throw up like this. I just got to swallow
That
my
is
own
not
vomit
an easy thing
and
to
then
do.
just
Oh my
keep
gosh.
going.
Yep.
You guys should listen. I wish you could see Eric's eyes right now as I say that.
Puke and rally is what you did. You did a puke and rally.
Yeah, so I did that, and then finally that Sitco sign cannot come fast enough. I've been looking for it for a long time, and as I approached that, I'm like, okay, the guy, I don't even know who he is. If he was feeling good, he would have caught up to me. He must be hurting, so I'm willing to hurt a little bit more than him, and kept pushing and pushing. And there was one sign that says 1K to go. As we go, I'm like, okay, chin down, lean forward, gravity. That 1K sign pissed me off a little bit because we Americans like to go by mile, and the Kenyans go by kilometers.
Yeah.
And usually it's 3 minute of pain for them, and for how long it's going to take them to run a 1K. And I'm like, it's 3 minute pain for you, even though that sign is there. I'm not happy about it. Just keep dealing with it. And then going up the ramp, just like quick feet, more arm action. Now Hereford is coming. As you make the turn, take straight tangent. Don't try to go one side. Just like aim for Boylston Street diagonally and sprint as hard as you can. By the time he turns, make the gap look bigger, and hopefully he will give up. And I did not know in hindsight that he was looking back. So I'm just going forward and I like him making left on Boylston. I just crossed myself. I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. Thank you, God. I don't pull a hamstring. If I move faster, the police going to escort me to go faster. If I slow down, they're going to slow down. So I'm like, use them as a pacemaker. Just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. What an honor and delight it was to lead the 36,000 people who wanted their revenge back to Boston Street and chant USA, USA. The crowd was phenomenal. People were down their feet. And it gave me a great honor to be the first American to win it in 31 years on the most important day of returning the Boston Marathon.
Wow.
Couldn't have picked a better day to get you a win for America, for Boston. Honestly, it's
magical.
I'm
magical.
speechless.
You
magical.
know
That's the word.
Miracle on the Ice, the hockey team. Yep. That's kind of similar story to that. That's
Miracle
the Miracle
on
Boylston Street.
Yeah. Yeah. What a story. That was so fitting. And I just love how you manifested it from a year earlier. And you made it happen. You believed in it. I feel like you believed you could do this. You could do it for the people, and you did it for the right reason, because you didn't want to do it for you. You wanted to do it for the city of Boston and for the country and for all the runners in the community. And I think that's kind of what did it. It's just like you like 3 more minutes of pain. I can do a little more pain than the guy behind me.
3 more minutes.
It's just 3 more minutes. So you freaking did it. That was incredible. I want to know what happened after. What was the after effects in the minutes, the hours, the days, even the weeks after the Boston Marathon that you got to experience for winning not just the Boston Marathon, but that race in particular?
My life changed. As soon as I crossed the Boston Marathon. I mean, my life drastically was impacted by winning the Olympic silver medal, by winning New York, going on David Letterman and all that. But once I won the Boston Marathon, and I should give credit to Jack from Alabama, and few people came and prayed for me the night before. I had my medals, 2 medals with me, and they said safe race for everybody, but would love to see another medal, victory medal, tomorrow for Meb. And Aerosmith, I think, had a song about Boston or something. David Kahn also sent me a video. He said, if you win tomorrow, the whole nation is going to be behind you. And it says it's going to be plaster all over. And for my 40th birthday, eventually he gave me all the top magazine, not top mag, top newspapers framed with my picture in it, and the cover of the front page, and not the sports section, but the front page, and
That's
how big it
amazing.
was. And so once across the finish line, you get a lot of strict rules, and my wife did not follow that. She came straight at me and gave me a hug or talk on me.
Can
And
you
I'm
blame
like,
her,
I was
though?
afraid. I was trying to go forward, and then I wasn't expecting that. But it was a magical moment, and my coach was there, Bob Larson, and it went to tears. Howie was there. Howie did not, he was optimistic, but at the same time, he got to wait until across the finish line. I always say, got to go past the finish line. And it was amazing. And it hit me when Greg Myers were giving me a hug, and they said, you're 2014 Boston Marathon champion. Then I just went to tears, because you have the dreams. You bought even thought house thinking of that, and you have all the smiles, all those. They just, like, I never done Ironman, but when they called person, you are an Ironman, and when they said you are the Boston champion, I just broke down, and I cried hysterically. And then the other thing is when the national anthem played, when I broke down to tears again. So it was a moment of a lifetime. It's hard to talk about it, and still get a little bit chilled up, but put your heart and soul to it. And when it comes, it's still, 12 years later, still crying about it.
Yep. It
You
was
know,
so
it's,
evident that you left everything out on that course,
Yeah,
that you were
yeah.
doing it for the victims. You were doing it
Yeah.
for Boston, for America. And I am just so incredibly proud of you for bringing it home. I think it's incredible. And I know that you're a very humble person, and you don't typically, you wouldn't typically say, I'm going into this to win, but you had everybody on your side, and I'm so happy that you were able to make that happen. You worked so incredibly hard for it.
Well, I appreciate it. That means a lot. And, you put your heart and soul to it, to some things, and when they go well, they're phenomenal. And sometimes they don't. But, yeah, so after the race, celebration was big. And some were just candid. Have power bar. They using my lower wreath, gold
Yeah.
wreath, and that stuff. And people want to come and visit. And then, couple things. The next day was crazy media day, and Howie, he the USATF, United Track and Field, and the United Olympic Committee is calling them to say how to get in touch with Meb. It says, you got to call this number. They're like, the White House trying to reach you, and
The White
it's going to be unknown number. You're going to get a call from unknown number from 8 to noon. And so we're ready to do FaceTime with the Canadian channel, and then the call came, and the White House, President Barack Obama, he was on Air Force One and on the way to Japan, I believe. And
That's so cool.
and then how we exchanged phones. He gave me his phone, I gave him my phone, and that was not going to happen. The call, which in
Prove
hindsight,
it. Call him right
I
now.
wish we recorded it. I wish it was recorded it, but we're not too quick on outfit on that day. Overwhelmed maybe, but then this is the commander of Air Force One. Is this Meb Keflezighi? I'm like, yes, it is. And said, well, I'll be transferring to the president now. I'm like, oh my gosh, what I say? And I was nervous, and I'm like, hello, Mr. President, how are you? And he's like, I'm fine. Well, I wanted to call and say congratulations on job well done. You made America proud. You made us all proud. Job well done. And we talked for about close to 4 minutes or so. And then he goes, we'll be in touch. And I said, man, that sounds like a politician. I don't know if I'm going to hear from you again, but he lived up to his words. And then eventually in the summer, he invited me and a guest, which I took my wife to go to the White House to have a dinner at the U.S. and Africa Leaders Summit dinner. And we were on the head table with him, which we didn't know. And then, as we go into all the security and all that stuff, and as we go, and then, he told me, he used the Boston Marathon at the correspondence dinner. You guys can look it up. And then he used me, and He goes, "Do you know what I said?" I said, "Yes, Mr. President." He said, "I use it in the correspondence dinner." I'm like, "Yes, Mr. President." He's like, "Do you know what I said?" And, "Yes, Mr. President." He still tell me that joke. And it was fun, and everybody's laughing. And then First Lady Michelle Obama is like, "You're gonna be sitting at our table," but I thought she was talking to the person behind us, behind my wife and I. And then as we look for table 25, we were looking table 25, and it was down the table 25, and it goes, "Do you know what table 25? Oh, table 25 is this." We asked some people, and it's like, that's the head table, and then President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama sitting here, and then on that table there was about 15 of us maybe. And the President Jimmy Runner, who was a runner, was there, and it was such an amazing moment. So my life did change from humble beginning of Eritrea, no electricity, no running water, to having a White House dinner with the two presidents.
That's so cool.
What a
I love that
journey.
guy. He's such a man. I would love to have a beer with him. Like that. Sometimes it's like, who would you like to have a beer with? And there's on a small list, he's on it for me. And I just want to say, like, there's the picture behind you, and you have the American flag draped around over your shoulders. And you mentioned the Miracle on Ice, but I just feel like you've lived the American dream. So many people have this American dream when they came to this country years ago. Your family came to this country for this American dream, and you lived this American dream, and you got, like, there's no one better, I think, to represent the country in that moment in 2014, and to have everyone chanting USA, and to have all those pictures of you with that flag draped over your shoulders. I know you had it in the Olympics, you had it in New York, but that moment was just something special. And you have lived that American dream, and I think you've inspired so many others out there as well.
Well, thanks, Eric and Erika. It's been my passion of mine to represent the United States at the highest scale possible ever since high school, wearing that San Diego High, UCLA jersey, or USA, or like New Balance. Living as a 50-year-old, being ambassador for New Balance is huge for me, and living the American dream. And that photo was given to me at the charity team dinner by Susan Hurley, who no longer with us, who passed away. That's a reminder of me for, that Meb, you belong in Boston, and Boston is indebted to you for a long, long time. And as I was, so that's this, I love representing the United States, from the Pan Am Games to the Goodwill Games to World Cup in Brazil and in Madrid, or to the Olympics, or when in Boston or New York when I did, and I take pride in that. And so that it's the climax of my career. It's the most meaningful victory that I will ever encounter. It still is my PR, by the way. Not many people know that, but I accomplished all those three things that day, and God will. It is not in my power to do that. It's just He chose me for a reason, and I know I was on this earth to be impactful or influence people through the sport of running, and I take that to heart. And I remember the day I was leaving Boston after I won. I think we were going to New York for some more media stuff. Somebody recognized me at the airport, and he says, "Meb, as long as you are in Boston, you should never have to buy a beer." so
That should stand, yes, to this day.
yeah. It's, and that's what Boston is. But whenever I see them, they always say, "Thank you for what you have done." And it's not even congratulations. Usually they're, "Congratulations on winning silver. Congratulations on winning New York." But Boston is different. And they always say, "Thank you for
a little bit
winning."
Well, Meb, if I ever run into you in Boston, I'm going to buy you a beer.
Beers on us. Beers on us for sure.
This has been absolutely incredible. We got two final questions we got to ask you real quick. We ask every guest this. So I just want to say, welcome to the PodFam. This whole entire poster here you might see, that's our whole entire PodFam from the first 100 episodes. Awesome. You're a huge part of this for us. Thank you so much. But we have two final questions, and thanks to My Race Tats for providing these questions for us. Erika, I'm going to let you go first.
Okay. So, Meb, we have created this amazing Spotify playlist that we like to share with our listeners, and we like to add just anything uplifting or something that gets you moving, gets you on your feet. Is there a song that you would like to add to this playlist?
Yes, even though he's a Detroit person, Eminem. One shot, one opportunity. I think about a lot, actually, when I train. And then the other one is New York, Jay-Z. And so I think it's
excellent choices.
Excellent ones. So I use them as a visualization. When I train and all those things. So music is powerful, but when you get that natural high and listen to this music, you can go through any barriers.
I mean, nothing's going to carry you as far as a crowd will through the streets of
True.
Boston or New York
We don't
City.
have music, so the crowd's going to be your best bet.
Yeah.
Exactly. But these songs will definitely help. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Meb, I always ask our guest, this year, I change my question up every year. This year's question is, can you give me a hot take? It could be anything like pineapple doesn't belong on pizza, or it could be serious. And maybe I'll lead you down this road too. Like, you got that book about lessons learned. Maybe there was a lesson learned that you turned into a hot take and it worked for you. And one of my favorites is runner's walk as an example. Do you have any takes you can give our listeners, especially before the Boston Marathon in a couple of weeks?
I'm not sure if I answered the question right, hopefully, but I think, mileage is mileage, but how you do them, prioritizing, there's no one workout that's going to say, I'm ready for it. They got to be cumulative, week in, week out. And if you can do that, you're going to be successful. We joked around a little bit about sometimes mishaps happen, in the race, in training, like food poisoning in New York, you still go out there and get it done. Breathe right on your shoes instead of your nose. That's a hard one. But guess what? If you're fit, if your mind frame is right, you can run a PR, whether the breathe right is on your nose or on your feet, So just dedicate yourself to be the best you can. And on race day, it will all come together.
I love that. I love the direction these hot takes have taken. They've really been going in the right direction, I feel, and this has been incredible. Meb, this was incredible. A dream when we started this thing up a couple years ago. This was like the definition of 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, if you ever heard that before, just from friends we've made on this podcast that have led to you. It's been incredible. Listen, next time I see you in Boston, the first time I do, let's get a beer if we can. I'm buying my treat.
Awesome. Sounds great. You guys have been great. On the Run podcast, you guys I've listened to some of your things. Keep up the great work.
Thank you so
you have
much.
guys have interesting guests, and I'm honored to be part of it.
Thank you, Meb.
Right.
This truly is an honor. And I just wish the best for you and keep encouraging people to get out there and run. And I know we didn't get a chance to talk about it, but your Meb Foundation, I know you're a charity partner for Boston along with some other races. And I just want to encourage people to commit to raising funds and get to do these amazing races so you can help amazing people.
Doing a lot of impact to the youth. If you got a few seconds, just go to mebfoundation.org. And you can help in whatever we can, whether you run the Boston Marathon, New York, Chicago, or Sydney, or other races. But also you can donate to help my cause, to help other kids through health, education, and fitness for young kids.
Excellent.
Amazing. I'll put that in the show notes for you guys all to find. Guys, I hope you love that as much as Eric and I did, because that was wicked awesome. Meb Keflezighi on the On the Runs podcast.
Thanks, Eric and Erika. Wish you guys all the best. And Boston Week, here it comes.
Meb, thank you. Eric and I still owe you a beer. And we are just so excited that you came on the podcast and talked to us. Like, this is dream come true worthy.
You absolutely delivered, Meb. All the stories you had there about Boston, you spared no details. He wore the hoodie. He read what it was about. He wore the hoodie.
Boston.
So this has a lot of thank yous. It starts with Bex Gentry. That then goes to Rob Simmelcare.
Yeah.
Rob's executive assistant, Jesse. Got us to Meb's management team. Got us to his PR guy. Got us to Meb. That is 6 people. That's legit, Tara. 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
So thank you to everyone who contributed to this, especially Meb, and also to My Race Tats for sponsoring the guest segment.
My Race Tats, thank you for remembering. My Race Tats, thank you for bringing us the guests on this episode. That was incredible. Meb, you're incredible. We'll see you in a couple of weeks in Boston, and yes,
Hopefully,
I owe that beer. We forgot to do one thing, if you remember. We were going to ask Meb. We were like, you think Meb's going to want to do a little fun reel skit with us? We had the whole plan, and then we just totally forgot. But you ever see New Girl when Prince walks over and they just freeze? And then Prince is like, I'm sorry, I haven't given you enough time to freak out. We were really hoping Meb would do that. We forgot. That would have been a lot of fun.
Oh my God. Thank you for bringing up a New Girl thing, because it's my absolute favorite. So yeah, it is a bummer we forgot, but I mean, we forgot for the best reason.
Yeah,
we
we
just
had
a wonderful
so much fun.
conversation.
And I made you keep that one a secret. for a while.
I did okay.
In fact, the only
I may
person
have
who
told-
really know
well-
are the ones here right now.
I knew.
Tara knew because you were on speakerphone when you called, and
Oh, that's right.
I was not
That's
gonna
right.
be
That's
like,
right.
wait,
I was quiet,
earmuffs.
though. I didn't tell anybody.
So we have some big news to announce. Big news.
Big
We
news.
announced last week that we have media creds for the Boston Marathon, where they added the photo tower to the media cred,
Isn't that
right?
cool, the photo
and
bridge?
the hotel. So that's going to be awesome. But we have even bigger news, guys. Are you ready for this? Mm-hmm. We are going to be podcasting not once, but twice from the Boston Marathon at the FanFest City Hall Plaza.
That's 2 on brand.
That's two. TWO.
Number 2.
On brand.
So the first time you're going to see us podcasting is going to be Saturday evening from the Boston Marathon Fan Fest at 6 o'clock. It might be 6:30. The times are a little fluid there. With it is, I think it's 6:30 to 7:30. It was 6:30 to 8, and then there's a band and all this. We're going to be recording Saturday evening from the Fan Fest. That event is free. And we're going to have some really cool guests come on, and we're hoping to maybe pull someone from the crowd or something, but we do have planned guests scheduled, and that's going to be in front of a crowd at the Fan Fest. It's just like this. It's going to be incredible. Then, on Sunday, who knows, to be announced. On Monday, we'll be at our usual mile 19.2
Yeah.
cheer section, but we have to leave by 3 o'clock because we have to make our way back to City Hall Plaza for the mile 27 party with all the finishers, and we will be recording a live podcast. Then, I say live, it actually won't be live streamed, maybe next year, but we're going to be recording with all the runners from the Fan Fest in City Hall Plaza. How freaking cool is this?
I am so pumped. I can't even tell you.
You're nervous too.
You know what? Honestly, though, I'm used to it now. We've done a lot of these live shows. It's getting more natural to me. So I think I can handle it.
There's going to be a new element of this challenge, though. We need to talk for an hour. So we're going to be very prepared with things to talk about when maybe we have a guest coming in and out.
Yeah.
But Tara has a very important job, and I really hope she can make it because golf might get in the way. But her job is going to be, your name's getting on the list, so you don't have to pay. This is a ticketed event, by the way. So
Isn't it $5?
$5.
I thought it was 10.
It's a $5 ticket. So the Monday is a ticketed event. You need to buy a ticket to go to this party, and there's going to be thousands of people there. It's going to be great. We're going to be recording in front of thousands of people. Tara hopefully is going to be walking around, maybe with Lindsay, and grabbing people to come up on stage and talk to us, because our hope for that one is to get anyone who just ran to come and tell us about the race. Come
They're
and tell
going
us
to be
about their
just
day.
like me, like limping around, like probably not paying attention, just being freezing cold.
But they're going to be drinking because there's going to be beer. It's at
so
Sam Adams.
we're going to have so much fun.
Oh, it's going to be, and what a cool thing to say. Like, when less than a year ago, we never thought we would do a live show like this, and now the BA.
Pretty
Guys,
sweet.
I'm
So-
so proud of you guys.
A lot of thanks to everyone who's helped make these
You're
opportunities
part of
happen.
this, Tara. Come on.
A lot of people help make these opportunities happen. It goes beyond all the fingers on my two hands. I'm looking at John right now, Millennium Running. I'm looking at everyone who's given us these opportunities. Darren Roy, the DJ over there. It's like Jamie Staten. Jamie Staten, who kind of started that whole, here's an email that guy. So, yeah, what's up, Darren?
You
DJ
said
Darren
his name
Roy.
and he looked. He's like, "What?" He can hear us.
It's so cool. So that's it. That is the big news. I'm so pumped about it, and we might have more coming soon too. That's in the works. But media credentials, recording from the Boston Marathon Fan Fest at City Hall Plaza, and the opportunities are endless, Erika. I hope you're ready to get outside your comfort zone.
Let's go.
Cue the song. Hey, look, I made
I
it.
love that song.
We're making it.
Yes.
And I like what Wyatt said, which you'll hear on Thursday's episode.
Yep.
Let's ride.
Let's
That's
ride. And not kicking down
Yeah,
doors.
come on over. Hey, and so this is we got Andy coming over. Andy just wrapped up doing the announcing. So
not wrapped up, but I just want to say, I'm not wrapped up, but I want to say you guys had much more fun than I did. Next year, we're switching jobs.
Yeah.
You guys get
Yes.
to talk to runners, because that way people don't have to hear my voice for hours.
You have a great voice,
But
though.
Andy, we love to hear your voice. Come on.
Andy has an incredible voice, and like the connections and everything. The Jamie thing happened because I was listening to Andy at the New Hampshire 10 miler. It's like, I want to get someone on who announces races, and then Jamie led to Darren led to John, and everybody.
One of these days, you're joining me at the finish line to do some announcing, though.
I would love
You guys,
to.
absolutely. Manchester City, I think would be a good one.
Well,
because it's so long. I know you guys are probably there anyway.
Well, I actually might be on the other side of the world that weekend.
All right. Well, one of these days when you guys are gonna join me at the finish line.
You
Yes,
got it.
absolutely. How do you deal with the names that are difficult to pronounce?
And
You
you have
just
to
do the
give
best
him-
you can.
You fake it.
You
Give
know.
him the hard ones.
You do the best you can, or you look at the name and you only do the first name, like just a few minutes ago. When I think it was Carol something, I said just Carol.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm just going to say Meb.
Right?
Yep.
I would love to stay and talk, but they're still coming in.
You
They're
got
still
work to
finishing.
do.
You
They're
got
still
work to do.
finishing.
Nice seeing
Yes.
you, Andy.
It's gotten a little breezy here. It was a perfect day, though, for a PR.
I am
that
an ice
Erika
cube.
was unable to do.
She was very close, though. She
missed
still
it
ran
by-
a sub 4.
I missed it by a minute and 18 seconds, which is not a big deal.
It
like,
is
honestly, not
actually,
a big deal.
you know,
78 seconds.
Second best marathon.
You
Second
could have
best.
gotten that 78 seconds. Where do you lose it?
In a lot of places.
Oh.
I lost it in several places.
You ever see the Casey Neistat video where he says, on this one race, I'm not going to high five or wave anybody because each time it wastes this much time?
Oh, he did the math.
Yeah, he
And
did
it
the
was
For
math.
the record, I will never do that because that just makes my experience like. Why would I want to have less fun? Like seriously, why would I want to have less
Now,
fun?
if you watch the follow-up when he redid the race and he's sub 3 hour in New York City, he couldn't help himself. He still said hi and gave little like, you know.
Sorry, I'm vibing right now.
Yeah.
You hear NSYNC in the background.
Well, Erika, we're doing this today and not on our typical Monday because
Yep.
you are heading out of town.
Oh, baby, I am going to California and I'm going to be warm for a week. So
I'm jealous.
see ya.
You must have a great job that lets you take all this time off and travel. Hey, you make a ton of money.
Just
You're making
for,
me sad again. God
just,
damn it,
just
you
for the
guys.
month of
Living the
April.
life. Living the life.
By the way, a certain friend of ours caught that we were talking about this, and he was like, "Are you okay? Like, is everything?" And so I had to be like, "No."
Erika made it big on OnlyFeet, and she is
It's an
now
option.
that's now her #1 income
Still
source.
an option.
Yeah, put it this way, people stop going to the sperm
Don't
bank.
judge me if I go the route of the foot.
We got Darren coming
Selling
over.
socks.
Darren, thank you for playing some NSYNC today.
Yes.
That is my jam, and it has been since like 1999, 2000
Like
maybe. I don't
Prince.
remember.
I was like 6 or 5.
I was like
very
13.
young.
Darren, did you see the Backstreet Boy Brian who got in a beef with some guy at a beach? And then he's like, this is a private beach. The guy's like, it's a public beach. So the cops come, and the cop said, oh, no, I know who you are. You're the bye guy. And he goes, wrong band.
I feel like now there is no rivalry between the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC because like Lance hangs out with AJ all the time. Like
Right.
Joey hangs out with all of them too. Like there's just love
They're
there.
grown-ups.
They evolved, yes.
Yes.
For sure.
Darren, how are the vibes today from the Cheap Marathon here in Windham, New Hampshire?
Honestly,
new location.
pretty damn great.
Hell yeah.
A little chillier than we would like it, for sure.
It did get a little
But
cold.
this morning was awesome.
Yep.
Even still right now, we're what? I'm not even sure what hour this is. We get
I
here.
don't know either.
1:26.
I have no idea.
I got here like 5:30 this morning.
Oh
so.
my gosh.
You came here last night and set up.
Yes.
Like, are
Yeah.
you worried about the rain?
Yeah.
Like with your gear?
Yeah.
How do you protect it?
So those great covers that we have right on top.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Spends-
Do they have security here at night watching
Yes.
your stuff?
Yeah. So we came here, set up last night so that
Beautiful.
I don't have to wake up at 3:30 in the morning to be here.
Yeah.
Like I slept an extra 30 minutes, which was amazing.
Beautiful. You earned it, man.
It was great.
You earned it.
You got some fun events coming up. Like I see you post on your Instagram, like where you're gonna be. So what's next for you? Where are you gonna be? Races and events, weddings, proms. Like it's prom season. Are you a prom DJ?
No, not really. No, it's not my niche. Not my avenue, but
Stick to the races, man. We
that's
love you
it.
here. We love you here.
So I'll do a couple Millennium at the end of this month, and then
You got the jacket party coming up. You doing that?
no, but I'm gonna get a jacket.
Yeah.
Right. So that's amazing. That's amazing.
He's a
We've
runner
got
now.
a
So-
DJ turned runner,
Yes.
still DJing, and now running.
Last year I volunteered to give out jackets.
Yes.
And now I'm getting a
Now
jacket.
you're getting
which is
one.
Amazing.
Love that.
That's incredible.
Will you be at the jacket party?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Friday?
Friday, April 10th.
I'm
10th.
so sad to miss this
Couple
one,
days
you
from now.
guys. But somebody's got to send me a picture of the Run Club singlet.
Yes,
Because I
will
get
do.
one this year.
Yes.
But no, like I don't know. I'm probably 25 events in for this year, and I'll do another 70 or something.
Wow. Nice.
80.
Packed.
It's packed. Yeah, and then of course a couple of the memorables, right? Is like Boston at the end of May, the Boston Run
Yep.
Remembers. That's
Yep.
amazing, or even like how many people get to DJ at marathon, right?
Right.
It's like just.
Were you announcing names when Andy came over here and said hi?
What's allowed to let me talk? I mean, it's on my microphone, so
He brought it with him.
just pulled that out.
Is that a microphone? Or are you just happy to see me?
I'm always
hanging out
happy
in
to
your
see
pocket.
you.
Both.
Okay. Unbelievable. Well, dude, this is. Whoa, it is getting windy here. This thing might come down.
Thank God it was not this windy earlier
Right?
today.
What? Well, I think that's a sign to wrap this
That's
up.
it. All right, y'all have a great time.
Yeah.
Y'all are great today.
Darren is
We'll catch you
bailing.
I
later.
appreciate you turning
Bye,
the speaker
Darren.
around too earlier when we started. Erica, I think we got to
Wherever
send
you guys
this
want.
home, but another shout out to my race tats. Thank you for bringing us our incredible guest segment. Also, Boston Weeks is off to a strong start. Last week with Troy and Jordan. This week with Meb. On Thursday, you're going to hear the Cheap Marathon episode. Then next week, we're going to have some incredible guests with some behind-the-scenes info from the BAA and some stories there. And then a Boston sports media personality who's run 5 Boston marathons, one that landed her in a hospital.
Yep. This Boston Weeks thing is lit.
And then-
it is so good.
So then after the Boston Marathon, you'll probably get an episode that's like on the ground that we did last year, but then you're going to get the 2 recordings from the live shows. I'm a little overwhelmed. It's a lot of work. And then I think we just need to do one episode of like you and me recapping the whole thing.
Let's do it.
Because it's just, it's a lot.
You need some time to de-stress.
We need a time.
Reel it in.
We're going to need time to like talk about it.
Yeah.
And so we'll do that. So Boston
Gotta
Weeks is really now
unpack.
like a Boston month and a half.
So if you don't like it, too bad. This is happening.
It's the best because it's the
Oh,
greatest.
man.
Running in New England is the absolute greatest. This was so much fun. Again, thank you to everyone at Millennium for helping us put on these events. Thank you for everyone for all these opportunities that are helping us grow and get these amazing, incredible guests like Meb who go back and tell their people, that was fun, I will do it again.
I love that.
Erica, take us home.
I have to say congratulations to everybody who ran the Cheap Marathon and Half Marathon today. You guys are rock stars. It was a really nice day. Now it's getting cold and windy, but there are still people finishing, so congratulations. And as always, thank you all for listening. You know we love you.
Never trust a fart.
Don't fear the code brown.
And don't forget to stretch.
Yo.